Hey there, good morning everyone. Thursday the 7th of April 2022. This morning's devotional is a reading from Romans chapter 8 verse 1, which reads, "Therefore there is now no condemnation for those who are in Christ Jesus." So many of us either enjoy living in the past or cannot let go of the past. And have you ever wondered why the rear view window in a car is so much smaller than the windscreen? Well, the answer is fairly obvious. You look through the windscreen to see where you are going to, not where you are coming from. No condemnation means also that you are free from the downward pull of the past. The past is sometimes like being stuck in quicksand. It grips you, it holds you, not wanting to let you go until someone comes along and helps you and pulls you out of that quicksand. Granted, there are those who will constantly try and remind you of your past, but that is on them. Because in Christ, my past is forgiven, lessons have been learnt, and the future looks brighter every day. Letting go of the past is difficult because sometimes we don't even realize how much it affects us, and it's not easy to identify the pain or suffering we may feel from the past experiences. This is because we may not even be conscious or aware of it. The past is important and serves as a lesson for us, and it is something we should never forget. Paul, who wrote the letter to the Romans, is a classic example of leaving the past where it belonged. He had an encounter with Jesus on the road to Damascus, and it changed him. Paul, like many of us, could not escape his past, and he had to live with the fact that he persecuted many of the early Christians because they were following Christ. He also had to cope with the fact that many new believers didn't trust him. And if I know one thing about the enemy, it's that he loves to use our past against us, and most likely threw Paul's past in his face any time he had the chance to. But here's the truth about Paul's past. God didn't choose Paul in spite of his past. He used Paul because of his past. Paul would not have been the apostle he was without his past. His past no longer defined him. God defined him. But God used his past to shape him into the man that he would become. Instead of running from the past, Paul used it to his advantage. And while the enemy probably looked on with victory and pride as Paul persecuted those early Christians, God turned this victory into a defeat for the enemy when Paul's past as a religious leader gave him an advantage when teaching about Jesus as the Messiah. My dear friends, if you don't leave the past in the past, it will destroy your future. Live for what today has to offer, not for what yesterday has taken away. Just as God used Paul because of his past, allow God to use your past to minister to those around you. God uses your past to fulfill his plans for the future, because he who began a good work in you will be faithful to finish it. May the Lord be with you. May he bless you. May he cause his face to shine upon you and be with you always. Goodbye.